Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. I'm CJ Baumgartner. There's Corey Tackman. It's a Monday, the 12th of May. A lot going on with our local high school sports scene because, Corey, this is the final week of the regular season for softball.
It is?
Yep.
That doesn't feel right.
Uh-huh. But it is.
Okay, well, good luck, everyone.
Playoff softball next week.
That's crazy.
Here we go. So that's a thing. And for the Wadena Deer Creek Wolverines, they are playing the Park Rapids area Panthers tonight in Park Rapids, a matchup between two teams that are battling it out in Section 8AA. For the Wolverines, by the way, in their final week of the regular season, Corey, talking with head coach Brooke Umlin for the Wolverines Weekly Coaches Show, which you can also find wherever you get your podcasts, is the fact that they have 4 games over the next 5 days. So they have a game today, tomorrow, off Wednesday, then games Thursday and Friday. 2 in the Park Region Conference, 2 are in Section 8AA. So I believe it's today, obviously, with Park Rapids area. Tomorrow, Sabika, off day, and then I believe DGF Sabika again. So that's kind of the week for them as they try and navigate here. The final.
Sabika think they are Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles?
Pretty much, yeah. I think they think they're exactly like that. That appears to be the bit. So looking at Section 8AA in softball right now, they're going to be seeded on May 17th, which is Saturday. Yep. We'll officially know who's going where, what's doing what. But as things stand right now, Holly is in first place in the section with the 107.4 QRF, DGF 98.2, Monaga 85.7. Wadena Deer Creek has jumped into the 4 spot over Roseau 78.4. Obviously the Wolverines have won 8 games in a row, and they've kind of used that win streak to catapult themselves here into the top 4 of this very top heavy section. Roseau right behind them though at 76.6. Then East Grand at 66.6, Breckenridge 63.5, Park Rapids area 62.1 for the Panthers. They're kind of in the thick of the middle of 8AA. Again, their playoff seeding could fluctuate. They could jump East Grand and get all the way up to that 6th spot. So as things sit right now, then Thief River Falls at 55.4, Barnesville at 52, Perham at 49, Warroad 38.8, Crookston 31.1, Ottertail Central 27.5. So that is how the seeding looks right now, heading into kind of the final week of the regular season. For Wadena Deer Creek, they are 15-2 overall. In the section, they are 3-2 with their only 2 losses in section coming to Monaga. In the Park Region Conference, they're 10-2, and of course, those losses both coming to Monaga, 8-1 on the road, 6-1 at home. So far this season, the Wolverines are currently riding that 8-game winning streak where, Corey, in the span, we mentioned this on Friday, but I got to say it again, in the last 8 games, they've allowed 5 total runs, and they've scored 7, 14, 10, 3, 11, 9, 18, and 10.
It's crazy, man. That's a heck of a deal, as they say.
A big roll. There's a lot of numbers there. We'll make a big number, which my communications major brain just can't quite count that high in that short a time. Park Rapids area is who they play today. They're at Sabika tomorrow. DGF on Thursday. That should be a fun one between 2 schools in the top of the section. DGF, of course, in that 2 spot, but with Wadena Deer Creek can make things interesting if they could get a win there. And then they play at home against Sabika on Friday to close out the regular season as well. So that's how things sit. For Park Rapids area, however, in their first year in the Heart of Lakes Conference, they are 8-7 overall, 4-6 in Section 8AA, 7-5 in the Heart of Lakes Conference this season, 1-6 on the road. But get this, they're 6-1 at home, and that's of course where they are tonight. They are 2-2 in their last 4. They've gotten victories over Roseau, which again was just above Wadena Deer Creek in the standings as of a week ago, and Breckenridge, and then they lost to Breckenridge in a doubleheader. They also lost to DGF 9-5 in game 2 of a doubleheader where they lost 13-3 and 9-5 as well. For Park Rapids area, they got a game against Wadena Deer Creek today. Tomorrow, a doubleheader in Staples Motley, and then Thursday, a doubleheader in Barnesville to close out their regular season here as well. 4:15 pregame, 4:30 first pitch in the Superstation K106, 105.9 FM, streaming online at WDC and the Superstation K106 mobile app. And be there or be square. I guess it's gonna be a fun one today from the Park Rapids area softball complex up there with all the pine trees north on 71 there. It's a good one. This is a former mid-state rivalry and always a section rivalry, and a good one between them. So there you go.
Go teams.
Go softball. Go softball. Let's swing on to the basketball court because we got a couple updates in terms of some pretty significant basketball programs making some announcements. So a couple weeks ago on the show, we talked about Perham basketball and how they are going through a transition at the helm of their boys basketball program, whereas trying to find the exact information here. But Perham has announced, according to activities director Aaron Anderson, that they are announcing longtime assistant coach and teacher Grant Dierkhising. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I also have no idea. So I'm sorry, Grant, if I got a mispronunciation there. He's been selected to be the new head boys basketball coach. It's pending approval by the school board coming up later this week. And of course, he's going succeeding Coach Haberman, who was the head coach there for a while, and now coming in as a longtime assistant there in Dierkhising. So just obviously Perham basketball carries a lot of weight. They're Heart of Lakes Conference champions a season ago, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. Perham kind of staying in-house here to keep things kind of rolling.
Yeah, he's been a part of it for a long time, 11 years of coaching experience in Perham, and he's ready to rock and roll and kind of lead the next generation and continue on with the next era of Perham Yellow Jackets basketball. Little write-up, by the way, should mention at www.radio.com if you want to see all those quotes and a little further background. You can check it out there. But a nice pick for that Yellow Jackets community, and excited for Grant to get that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Perham basketball always is something that is towards the top, whether it's the Heart of Lakes, whether it's that Section 8 AA, whatever it is. And they're making that next move there with the program's next head coach. Speaking of programs and head coaching news, this is something that just every time I read the stat, I have to just it just blows my mind. Crosby-Ironton's Dave Galovich is retiring after not a 7-year coaching career, not a 17-year coaching career, not a 27-year coaching career, not a 37-year coaching career, Corey, but a 47-year coaching career for Dave Galovich. He's hanging them up.
Yeah, 824 career wins. He's the 4th winningest coach in Minnesota boys basketball history. My question for you is, did you ever, Bertha Hewitt, while you were there, did you ever play CI?
No.
Did your paths ever cross?
Nope.
Did you ever get to meet him while you were at the radio station and cross paths with him and call a game of his?
Did not.
Unbelievably generous with his time in the opportunities that I've had to speak with him, and of course an unbelievable coach. Last time I got to see Crosby-Ironton play was a couple years ago. They were in Staples. They were at Staples Motley, and Coach Tesdall, a longtime assistant. I mean, I think those two guys combined for he was the head coach for 47 years, Dave was, and I think Tesdall was there for all but maybe the last 1 or 2. It's just something you don't see ever. You don't see head coaches stick around in one spot for that long as he did. You don't see coaches coach for 47 years. You don't see a coach and the primary assistant and JV coach together for that many years. Just a really special thing. Obviously, they named the court after him. I don't want to sound weird, but you usually have to die for that to happen, right?
Right.
He got the court named after him. one of the all-time great coaches and just a true like class act. I had nothing but just unbelievable experiences every time I got the opportunity to work with him, even as like a snot-nosed kid who never really had done games before. He was very generous and answered all my silly questions, and he's awesome. And I'm just thrilled for him. I actually saw him. I did see him in the section tournament this year in Hermantown. He was there just to take in some of the section tournament games. And I mean, that guy's going to be, there's not going to be a gym you don't see him in. If you've got an elite player and you're in central Minnesota, you're probably going to see Coach Galovich in your gym at some point. He's just going to be around basketball forever and ever and ever. And congratulations to him. What an unbelievable career. And I'm glad he gets to now enjoy a little retirement.
Yeah, exactly. And like the story with Perham Boys Basketball, our guy Zeke has a little piece up online at WDenaRadio.com of the Superstation K106 mobile app talking about Galovich's career. And this is one nugget I do want to mention because he spent 40 of those seasons at Crosby-Ironton. The first 7 he coached at Nashwauk-Keewatin and at Staples, compiling a 102-53 record in that span. And then, of course, being in Crosby-Ironton for 4 decades. Is just an impressive run. But you can read the full write-up and all of what Zeke collected there online, WDenaRadio.com, Superstation K106 mobile app, or following Sports Cow on Facebook.
Moo.
Let's talk a little bit about Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade, because they also have been here for decades, providing a lot of great pizza and memories in Wadena and across central Minnesota.
Yeah, CJ announced just this morning the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade giving away 50,000 FunZone tickets to one lucky FunZone Rewards member in their big ticket giveaway. 50,000 of them. Here is how you enter. If you have a FunZone Rewards account with a registered card, you are already automatically entered. If you're not a FunZone Rewards member yet, just scan the QR code on the Facebook page, or of course, if you're taking in the morning sports desk on YouTube, which you can do, by the way. We've got the QR code up on our YouTube channel right now. But if that's not the case, Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade Facebook page has that QR code. Scan that QR code. Join by May 31st, by the end of the month, to get your automatic entry. And then don't forget to add your FunZone card to your new account as well, because if you win, you are going to get 50,000 FunZone tickets. Are you kidding me with that number? The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade hooking you up big. Get signed up by the end of the month.
50,000. I still can't wrap my head around that. That's a lot.
Start counting right now. You'll get there eventually.
1, 2, 3, 4. Running out of fingers and toes here. So that's we're gonna get to some levels of embarrassing, but that's insane, because as you know, those tickets can go towards a lot of really cool prizes, like maybe like a mystery autograph jersey. Remember when we gave one of those away on the show?
The best.
It was like an autographed Wade Boggs jersey. You can only get stuff like that when you go to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out. They're awesome. All right, Corey. Speaking of awesome, it's been awesome for the Minnesota Twins. All of a sudden, they've rattled off 8 straight wins. At one point, they were, 13-20? And it felt like the season was pretty not dead in the water, but like if they didn't do something real quick, we were going to approach June and be like, well, I guess I'll go to the lake or go to the golf course a little more than worry about the old Twins baseball. Since then, they've rattled off 8 straight wins, and I believe they're like 14-5 over their last 21 games. Like, this is just a team that all of a sudden is putting together the potential we kind of thought that they could put out at the beginning of the season.
They're 21-20. If you add that up, that's 41 games. If you add that up, you will realize we are officially over a quarter of the way into this season. They have a winning record a quarter of the way into the season. There's just nothing but there's nothing but good news and positive news. It was an abysmal start. You mentioned 13-20, and 13-20 felt good to compare, when you compared it to how the season started. So to rattle off 8 in a row, to get to 21-20, to get to a winning record, to get guys back healthy, to have your starters pitching the way they're pitching, relievers have been pretty decent all season long, like we've talked about. And now some of that hitting is coming up in spots and in big spots where we need it to. And Willie's making an impact. And Royce got his first hit of the season finally.
Bases loaded.
Or was it yesterday? Or and to get him rolling now, hopefully a little bit. Correa swinging the bat. We know we've talked about Buxton a lot and what he's been doing of late. It's just everything is clicking on all cylinders here right now. So there's you'd be a jerk to talk any sort of pessimism about the Twins right now. They're just playing excellent baseball, not just good baseball. They're playing, it's 8 in a row. I mean, they're probably playing the best baseball, at least as far as wins and losses goes in the entire league.
Right. And by the way, quarter of the way through the season. All right, let's multiply that by 2. The Twins would be 42-40. Multiply that again by 2, and then you're at 84-80. And this Twins team projected to win around 85 games this season. And so basically that's, I think, what the division over under is set at. Now, if you look at the division standings right now, the Twins have won 8 games in a row, Corey, and they've picked up 1 game in the standings. It's been insane because the Twins are 8-2 in their last 10. The Royals are 7-3 in their last 10. So are the Detroit Tigers. The Guardians are 6-4. And look out, the White Sox are 4-6 in their last 10. So here's the division standings. The Tigers are in first place at 26-15. The Guardians are 2.5 games back at 23-17. So are the Royals at 24-18. Twins are 5 games back of Detroit with a 21-20 record. Right now, Twins are 15-6 at home, 6-14 on the road, by the way.
So my question for you is this a matter of they're just finally right? Is this a matter of they're finally healthy? Is this a matter of they're just scorching hot right now? And that what's the 30,000 foot view of the Twins right now?
They're scoring more runs. That's pretty much it. The pitching staff and the bullpen have been doing pretty much what they've been doing all season. I know the first week they kind of got shelled a little bit and was like, what the heck? But they've came back into form here, generally speaking. Again, we talked about this on the show last week. I don't want to repeat it, but the bullpen and the starting rotation are both top 8 in baseball. The team ERA is top 8 in baseball. Starters are top 7. So this is a pitching staff that is good enough to keep them in games, and it has. The Twins, I think, have not won a game where they've scored less than 2 runs, which basically just means that there were a whole lot of games where the Twins offense put up 2 runs or less, and you just can't win consistently in Major League Baseball when you do that. A little bit of that is injury. Now, that being said, Royce Lewis coming back, it was 1 for 17 or something like that. So he's back. He pushes everybody down, pushes people more to their natural spots. Sure. But, I think it's just more that this offense is hitting. I know Brooks Lee didn't start the season on the team, and now he is, and now he's healthy. He had a big home run yesterday. Brooks Lee kind of rounding into form as well. He's had some big hits. Byron Buxton's been on a heater. Correa's figuring things out. Jeffers is getting right. All of that stuff. But remember, Wallner's still hurt. There's still, there's still a couple other bumps. Keyshaw is out. There's a couple other bumps and bruises along the way. Really what I think it is this offense is just finding a way to score runs now, and they're finally warming up, whether it's because the temps are finally warming up, whether it's because they just needed to see pitching for a month of the season to get into form. Either way, it's felt like the Twins got down 3-0 early in this game. And as I was watching this game, I just was like, they're going to find a way to come back and make it interesting. I don't know if they're going to win, but they're not going to lose 3-1, or they're not going to lose 3-0, 4-0, whatever. The Twins got 2 runs on a Brooks Lee home run. It was 3-2. Then the Giants chip 1 back, and it's 4-2 again. You're like, geez. Okay, well, but then Byron Buxton, it's a sac fly, 4-3 again. And then later, Royce Lewis comes up with the game-tying RBI single. And then, but it just is that, and then the Twins win in extra innings. But this whole thing is before the Twins, the last game the Twins lost, back on Friday the 2nd, the Twins got down 1-0, and I remember watching the game like they lost. They lost, and they lost like 3-1 or something like that. I can't remember the score off the top of my head. But the point was like the Twins got down by all run early, and you felt like it's over. And over the course of the last 8 games, the Twins got down 3-0 in the third inning. And I was like, they'll find a way to chip back. And not only that, the offense has been playing well. I do want to shout out, again, we talk about the little things being important. The Twins were ahead 2-1 in the 8th inning on Saturday. Did you see this play, Corey? Top of the 8th inning, Willie Adames, I believe, is on third, or Ramos, is on third base. And Christian Vasquez just does a sneaky back pick over to third base, and him and Royce Lewis on the same page tags the go-ahead or the tying run out at third base in the 8th inning, and the Twins go on to win that game 2-1. And that was the last kind of gasp for the Giants in that game. The Twins are just they turned double plays yesterday, starting with the pitcher. Like, it's just felt like they've kind of rounded into form, and they've shaken off some of the bad things that have held them down.
Vasquez is interesting. I have 2 points from what you said, and then I really don't have much else to add. But Vasquez is an interesting guy because he provides, at best, a 0 on offense.
He is at best a league average catcher, and that's not a compliment.
At offensively.
Yes.
What he provides defensively is that exact moment and that exact play. The dude was he was toast. There was like not even a single doubt about it. Like, oh my God, he's so out. And that is important. Like, he calls a nice game. It's like
pitchers really like to work. Pitchers go out of their way to compliment working with Vasquez.
And you know what? It's to have that guy have to hit is worth it to have him out there defensively. Sometimes it's a give or take. Sometimes you need to take a little less defensively to have an offensive spark. And sometimes your offense is clicking on all cylinders and you need a guy to hit 8th. and just kind of like fill a spot because of what he provides on defense. So I just if he ever starts sucking at defense, we can have a different conversation about him. But understanding how he fits into this picture is really important. And if anybody complains about his offense, they're not paying it. They're like, it's the wrong thing, I guess is my point.
Right.
The other part is you mentioned Royce. He got his first hit, right? 1 for 17 or whatever.
Something like that. Not a good number.
Yeah. I know it's really easy to superficially look at that and be like, yeah, well, what's the difference between Royce Lewis going 1 for 17 or 0 for 16 for that matter, or a different player, Trevor Larnach, going 0 for 16? What's the difference actually? And the difference actually is that Royce Lewis in that spot, Trevor Larnach in that spot is getting pitched to like Royce Lewis is getting pitched to. But if you can go Royce Lewis into Trevor Larnach, like just the comfort that provides, even though he wasn't providing anything on offense, like it provides an opportunity for the guy behind him to get some pitches to hit because they're going to do everything they can to get. Royce is infinitely more scary, no offense, than whoever's going to hit behind him, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was just about to say is having Royce Lewis on deck is a lot scarier than Jonah Bride in the on deck.
So individually and statistically, an 0 for 16 into a 1 for 17 stretch is not very good. But you've put a guy, now you've moved a guy who was hitting one spot earlier in the lineup, back one spot. Like for the team, in the aggregate, you have made your team better because Royce Lewis is in the lineup. And he's going to start hitting better, probably. He's just going to he's going to be a guy that other teams have to think about always, which means they're going to pitch around him and do everything they can to get him out. So that way, and then that means you're going to get pitches to hit.
Right.
It's just as better. It's the Twins are better because Royce is in the lineup, period.
And by the way, the Twins are now going to play the Baltimore Orioles. Once again, the Orioles in their last 10, they rebounded a little bit from the sweep. They're 4-6 in their last 10, 15-24 overall. They are dead last in the AL East right now. They got 3 games with them coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're off today. And then the Twins go to Milwaukee this weekend. The Brewers are kind of hovering around 500 as well at 20-21. So again, an opportunity for the Twins to have another winning week, Corey, and that's what we talked about. So just keep stacking them on top of each other, and then they'll have 2 series against Cleveland and Kansas City, both at home next week. That'll be huge if they want to really kind of start to climb back into that if they want to be an AL Central kind of runner with the other 3 teams and not just kind of like, well, maybe if they want to hang around in the wild card race or something like that. So we'll find out a lot more. Twins, the baseline for the Twins is, can you just be playing competitive baseball in the summer? You don't need to be in first place all summer. Can at least you just make games worth watching in the dog days of June and July? And don't, it's the thing with the Vikings. My rule with the Vikings is always be competitive at least through the Twins season. Don't be like they were a few years ago where they're like 0-3 to start the year. And it's like, well, the Twins aren't even done playing and I don't care about the Vikings anymore. Don't do that. And the Twins were in scary territory because the Wolves are playing and they were in danger of just puking up the season. And at the very least, they're going to make it interesting through the next few weeks. So
make it so that way when people who live 3 hours away, they can decide, you know what, on a Wednesday, I'm going to go watch an afternoon Twins game. And then I'm just going to walk across the plaza and check out a Lynx game. Now make your trip to the cities on the weekend a worthwhile trip, like a full sports weekend. And you can do a Twins on a Saturday, Lynx on a Saturday night, Twins on a Sunday, and get home in time for supper. Now it's, the summer's just got more interesting.
Exactly. Making things interesting, Minnesota Timberwolves played a not clean game on Saturday, but still came away with the win. Anthony Edwards ended up finishing with 36. Julius Randle finished with 24. Julius Randle had a triple-double, Corey. You know who's the only other Timberwolf to have a triple-double in a playoff game?
Ticket.
Kevin Garnett. So congratulations to Julius there, playing just again. The way his narrative has changed over the last 2 months has been insane. And it's been really fun to see him kind of figure stuff out. But the biggest thing, Corey, that I don't want to rehash a ton of game 3 because that happened on Saturday. And we've had plenty of time to talk about that. I want to focus more on game 4. But the biggest thing I learned is that the Warriors played probably their best game without Steph. Jimmy played well. They got good defense. They got what they needed to get. They shot okay. But all of that, and they still couldn't beat the Wolves, who weren't playing a great game. And it's just my thing of the Wolves are going to win this series because even if they're not playing great, the Golden State just doesn't have enough in the tank to be able to beat them.
They don't have enough in the tank energy wise. They don't have enough in the tank, just output wise. We've thought that
they gave them the punch and the Wolves got hit and still knocked them out.
We thought the Wolves were better than the Warriors with Steph. And they're certainly better without. Whatever. They're trying real hard. Tonight's game, I think, is going to get chippy. The most important thing was that Anthony Edwards showed up again. We got to see Ant
after a really bad first half, by the way.
A bad really start to the series.
Mm-hmm.
But calling it a bad first half is not giving credit enough to how bad he was in the first 2 games. Also, showed up again. He was back. Julius has been the best player for the Timberwolves this entire playoffs. I don't think that's an argument. The most consistent best player on this Timberwolves roster. It's 3-1 after tonight.
Yep. And then we're going back to Target Center for a chance to close it out, which would be a really fun target. Get up 3-1 because the vibes at Target Center going into that game 5 will be immaculate.
And who said Wolves in 5 for the Lakers series?
I believe you did.
Who said Wolves in 5 for the Golden State series?
I believe you did.
Then play.
Who's going to be betting on who's going to go buy a lottery ticket after we finish recording?
No. Why jinx it?
You're having good luck right now. You're going to use it instead of becoming a multi-millionaire. Corey's going to use it so the Minnesota Timberwolves can get to the NBA Finals.
Listen, this is not luck. This is elite basketball assessment that's happening.
This is Corey Tackman, ball knower.
This is not luck. This is skill and understand and just being a hooper. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you've been classified as a hooper.
Yeah,
exactly. So Wolves win. Yeah, you're right. It's going to get chippy tonight, but
there's going to be a fight tonight. There's going to be some text tonight for sure.
Draymond is going to get to the point where he just doesn't care, especially if the Wolves get up early.
Yep.
He's going to want to get himself kicked out.
Yeah.
He's been pretty chip. Again, I know everybody knows this, but just the things Draymond can bark at officials and they just do nothing to him. Meanwhile, Rudy Gobert, remember last year, did this and got a hefty fine, 5. The NBA, obviously the NBA wanted to make sure that was like, don't do that again. Draymond, you could hear him mouthing, what's the money line? 5.5. Like you could hear him mouthing like, oh, that. We'll see if the NBA puts out a fine. If they fine him, like they made the Rudy Gobert one pretty public.
I want to be very clear about Draymond. I don't give a crap about that guy. He can do whatever he wants. Doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
Irrelevant. Enjoy Cancun, buddy. You got 2 games left.
Yeah. Pretty much. 2 more texts and he gets suspended a game. So we'll see if he tries to get both of them tonight and then just can bail.
Very much in play.
Very much in play.
That is not hyperbole that you brought that up. Him getting 2 texts so he doesn't have to play in game 5 is a real thing.
Mm-hmm. And the way, again, he gets talked about in the media, like, well, you know, Draymond, like the way he gets talked about, like he's not like a guy that's been in the league for like almost 15 years now. And like the way he just acts, whatever. So anyway, I can't wait for him to get 2 fouls and go, oh my gosh, Draymond, he's supposed to be like a leader on this team. What's he doing? Like he chased away Kevin Durant off that team.
Yeah, no, he's a real problem. I have nothing to say about him.
Yeah,
he sucks. I mean, he's awesome, and he's going straight to the Hall of Fame.
He's a great player, but that you can separate the art from the artist a little bit. Be like, that guy acts like a clown.
Yep. Yeah, he's a big old doofus.
So we'll see if he's got the shoes on today. So, all right, we'll see you guys. Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch, FunZone Arcade in Wadena. See you tomorrow.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.